Starmen Podcast.
So, Devin, we seem to be missing $120 that was spent on an 80s horror documentary. Care to tell me about that?
There's a good reason for that Billy can explain.
Well, it was an 80s horror documentary. Like, come on, it was so much telling me and Devin to buy it.
Oh boy, here we go.
Hello and welcome to a Starmen Reviews. I'm your host Devin. With me is Cody, Billy, and David.
Hey everybody.
Woo! Greetings to everyone!
And yes, to start off, we would like to give a special mention to a lovely documentary series we found. Came in about halfway through November, so we had to take some time to watch it. It's 4.5 hours long for each part, and there's 2 parts.
Yeah.
But it is the In Search of Darkness.
Yeah.
Which is a documentary about, as we said, 80s horror.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
The pack came with like 3 posters, a pin, the physical copies of the documentary as well as digital copies.
Yeah.
So our
Holy.
digital copies came in.
That's
Nice.
pretty impressive.
That is very impressive. You get a lot of swag for your
Yeah.
input.
Yeah.
Also, our names are in the credits, but
That
Bonus.
is pretty good. Cool.
that's really cool. I mean, a lot of people opted for that, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a long list of credits.
that is the longest list of thank yous I think I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of Kickstarter games that had, hey, here's all the people who thanked us or supported us. So the first question is why did we buy this?
Why did you?
Well, if anyone knows me, I'm a horror fan.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I started with 80s horror. That was when I was growing up.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of nostalgia there. Billy, want to explain why you wanted it?
Just some of the people that they were being interviewed, like some of the actors that I like, and I think in part 1 they profiled trauma, so I was on board with that.
Yeah. So there is a section where they talk about the Tromo films, and Billy was on board for that. Chris Jericho's one of the guest star.
Yeah, when the contributors or
Yeah.
whatever you want to call them.
Yeah. So they do commentary with him.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we can't go too much into detail on what's in this in terms of what the documentary has.
For spoiler reasons.
For spoiler reasons, I don't want to spoil this. Go out and get a copy. It's well worth the money.
Yes.
If you either like 80s horror, if you just like horror, if you just like movies,
Yeah.
If you like madness.
if you like madness, and yeah, you will not be disappointed. And just prepare to sit for 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
I recommend,
Each.
I recommend breaking it up and not trying to do a full day of it.
Oh, yeah.
That was an attempt that didn't end well.
You attempted that?
Yep,
Yeah,
I dedicated a day off just to try to watch a 9-hour documentary.
Mustn't
Oh.
blink.
The full 9 hours.
Yeah,
What is wrong with you?
I was really excited for it.
Yeah.
He was just bouncing off the walls.
I think this is the first documentary I actually ever planned ahead. I had food set out, I had drinks ready, I was ready to go.
Wow.
I was like, this is my day, I've turned off the phone, no one can get a hold of me, doors are locked, I'm sealed in.
Put a note on the door. Don't knock.
Lock or die.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a shotgun by the lock.
Wow, you really were excited.
Yeah, no, this is me in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Like, all my childhood can boil back to going to the movie store, finding these old movies, and then taking them back and watching them.
Yeah.
Memories.
And we got everything from Friday the 13th series, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, a few other goodies.
Yeah.
Like, and half of these I haven't even seen.
No, like, when we were watching, because I would always be asking, like, is this one you've seen?
Yeah, that's a good question to ask me. Most of them I've seen or heard of, but there's still a lot in there that I was like, I'd never seen or heard of this. Now I want to.
No, like, I've even started like looking up like some of the titles and adding them to a wish list.
Oh yeah, like I now have a newfound history of things I need to watch.
That's always good.
Yeah. So, adding to this, it is nice to get some behind-the-scenes commentary on how things were shot, how things were done in the 80s.
Oh yeah, like especially I think they knew Tom Savini.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. Always to see the behind the scenes of these kind of movies.
Yep.
Yeah. And then just from also the actor's perspective of like, when I was doing this scene, this is what I was thinking. 'Cause there's like, how do you do a scene where you know you're going to die
Yeah, like
and still look surprised?
yeah, like I will play the things like okay, I'm time, but like, come on, pretend you're not gonna die. You know you're gonna die.
Yeah.
You gotta look the part.
Yep. And
Be
how
the
they,
corpse.
and how they do some of the special effects is very ingenious.
Oh yeah. Well, they had to work for it back then.
Oh yeah. There was no CGI back then
Oh, yeah.
to speak of.
Like back then, just practical effects, I think.
Oh, practical.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, like that's what I love like when like a whole movie would use practical effects besides CGI.
Yeah. So, anyways, we will be doing an unboxing of this when we get it in.
Yeah.
'Cause
Nice.
some of these posters are amazing. I want to show them off.
Yes.
That'll be
We'll
cool.
have to get a go-ahead too on that, just in case. I don't want to spoil anything and then be told, "Hey, wish you didn't do that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surely it's a tribute to horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just where we go cease and desist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a different kind of horror we don't want.
Yeah.
Oh, the horrors of lawsuits.
Yeah. Now that's scary.
Yeah, it's just funny. I never really got into 80s horror.
No, you don't got into a whole period.
You're hit and miss a little bit on it.
Yeah, I'm hitting
I don't
this.
think it's the first thing you jump to,
No.
but you won't run away from it.
Yeah, no. I'll give it a whirl. Yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you're thinking.
You're not the bravest person either.
I don't deny that.
But you know.
Yeah, that's true. Like, it's like I'm not gonna watch what happens the rest of the movie. I'm gonna look up the ending.
See, I knew that's what he was thinking.
Oh, that's great. Now we gotta explain that to everyone.
I'll let you take it away.
Thank you. So, we were watching the movie VHS, which is an anthology horror.
Yeah, which they never do enough of.
They're actually quite a bit out, from what I understand.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's just, they're not very popular,
Oh, okay.
because usually it's the commentary is if it's good enough to be, or if it's good enough, it should just be its own movie. So if it's short film or short movies combined into one movie, obviously they weren't good enough to have their own plot.
Yeah. Alright, I knew that.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's quite a few from the list I was looking at.
Good to know.
But anyways, VHS, we were watching, and Cody had to go. He was out of time. So we were like, we'll pause this, or me and Billy will finish this, but then when Cody comes, we'll finish it with him as well. No, Cody went home, looked up the endings, and said, no thank you, I'm good.
You wuss.
Now, Dave, I know you're here, but I know horror's not a thing for you in my mind.
Oh, I like horror. I just don't get the same. What's the word I'm looking for? Reaction or response like everyone else.
I think you watch horror as a comedy.
Yeah. Well, certain ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if it's good horror, it's good horror. But usually, it's like you don't feel that bad for the victim because they're either an idiot or a jerk.
Yeah.
And they usually do stupid things.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can't put your feet into the victim's shoes because they do things you wouldn't do.
Or a lot of people would do.
Yeah.
I know, I'll just run into the woods. That'll help me. Oops, I tripped. Oh no, the killer cat caught up with me. Or I'll lock myself in the basement.
Oh, look, the killer's in here.
Or like, oh, I've written myself into a corner.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, Billy, I know you watch a lot of movies,
Yeah.
and horror's in that list of movies.
Yeah, so it's not my top favorite genre, but it's in there.
Yeah. And it's my top genre.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
If I ever sit down for a movie, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a horror movie.
Oh, yes.
Because I'm in that weird boat of I'm trying to find something that scares me, like, completely. Like, I'm trying to think right now off the top of my head movies that really affected me, and not many really come to mind. So the search continues, and
Yeah.
I guess because of that, I'm now more immune to a
Yeah.
lot of horrors and jumps.
Yeah, I'll agree that since hanging out with you.
Yeah. I put on a brave face so no one knows how big of a coward I really am.
This is like a buddy of mine asked me why I wasn't scared. I'm like, I'm friends with Devin. Nothing scares me now.
Yeah, if you hang around with me for long enough, your horror tolerance goes higher. Because I will show you some shit.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Or you'll get angry by it.
Yeah. So, back on course with the
Yeah.
documentary. Again, it's very well done, and
Yeah, the people who they interview, like some I was surprised that they were interviewing some of them.
oh yeah, Keith David is in there too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember names, but also not give away everyone.
Nancy Allen.
Nancy Allen, who was prominent in a lot of movies.
A lot of them who was in, like, I was surprised, like, I knew she was in the 1 or 2 home movies. I didn't know she was in
So many.
Yeah.
many. It was,
It's crazy. Linda Quigley is her name?
yeah, I think,
It's Linda or Lindsay? I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's hard to remember, like, the names.
Yeah.
There's so many of them.
Oh, dear Lord, there's so many.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, we have the actors who play Freddy Krueger and Jason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill Moseley, one of mine and Devin's favorite horror actors.
Yeah.
You can watch anything with him in it.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
And then we even have the angry video game nerd.
He was in a horror movie?
He wasn't in a horror movie, but
Oh,
He's a fan of horror movies?
yeah, he's playing more on the side of Cinemassacre,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which he does movie reviews.
Technically, you can classify he was technically in a somewhat horror movie. He was in the part 2 of Return to Nukem High.
Fair enough,
Okay.
So,
but I imagine they more got in there because I think they got a few other YouTubers
yeah.
who
Okay.
that's what they do is review movies,
Oh, yeah.
so
Alright.
they know what they're talking about when they say things.
Right.
The sheer amount of horror movies in the 80s.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like,
It was a popular genre at the time.
It exploded in the 80s, and that's why we have this documentary.
yeah, because like the 70s, they were just coming into the.
Like
Then the 80s, they just nailed it and just went balls to the wall.
yeah, everyone was throwing out a horror movie at some point.
Yeah.
And good or bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah. Chuds.
Yeah. And I do like how they break it up into sections. So we start out with the 1980s,
Yeah.
and then we do a section on like
Like,
voice acting or Italian horror
yeah,
films,
Italian movies.
Yep.
and then we go into 1982 or 81.
81. Then it'd be like Nancy Allen.
Yeah,
Like, they, like, in between years, they do,
another section.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
like, horror video games, I think was one of them.
Yeah, horror video games. There's just so many other things that
Yeah.
they did.
Like the
Wow.
first, I think the first draft, like, ideas, like, for first drafts of movies and ideas for other,
Yeah. So there's a section where movies that didn't get made.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
That is actually pretty cool.
yeah, and, like,
So a lot of directors talk about the movies or the ideas they had for movies
Yeah.
that didn't make the final cut or that just never even saw
Yeah.
the light of day.
because the one that was mentioned, I'm like, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even Devin thought that would have been an awesome entry.
Yeah. And like there's other sections like just like the culture behind the horror movies or like why you see scenes like this more.
Yeah, like they go into so much more detail, like stuff that you would never think of.
Oh yeah, no. Like I thought we were going when I got this, I thought I was just going to get a documentary where we interviewed different actors and directors from horror movies and talked about each movie individually
Yeah.
and kind of went through the years. But no, it was much more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I think we dragged this as long as we could.
Buy it.
The other thing I noticed is a lot of what they did in these movies will not fly today.
Oh god!
Oh yeah.
Different times, man.
Yeah.
Way different times.
It's like I could just imagine the pitch meeting if they tried that today. Can we try? No. But what about no? Get out of my office.
Pretty much. It'd either be not
Tone down way too much.
Yeah.
toned in way too much, boycott it the hell,
Yeah.
Yep.
or yeah, just wouldn't be approved.
Yeah.
So it is kind of true that I don't think we'll ever see another era that's like the 80s horror era.
No, like,
And it's crazy because there's a few actors there that they did it for the paycheck or for to just get their start.
yeah.
And these days and age, people do it because that's what they want to do. I want to be a horror actor.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Back in the day, it wasn't something that you would strive to be.
no, like you have to get your foot into an Hollywood and like, oh, okay, so horror movie, okay, it's
Yeah.
paycheck,
It's a paycheck, it's a start,
yeah.
gets my name somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
And yeah, just a final thought is like 80s really pushed the envelope for horror to where it is today.
Oh yeah.
But with that, we'll have to end the episode. So, I'm Devin.
I'm Cody.
Billy, dig it.
David, see you later.
Have a good one, guys. Again, go buy In Search of Darkness.
Oh yes, please.
It needs more love, and hopefully we can see a third part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
A 9-hour documentary, and we still really haven't scratched the surface.
No, like, wow.